Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about variability and where it comes from. When we talk about variability, all we're talking about is basically how spread out scores are in a data set. So for example, here on this slide, we have 3 different data sets, and all of them have a mean of 6, but they have different amounts of variability. So the first data set there has a bunch of 6s. There's no variability. Everybody has exactly the same score. The next one, we have some variability. Scores range from 5 to 7, right? We have scores of 5, 6, and 7 in that data set. And then the last one has more variability, right? Scores go from 1 to 10 and everything in between. Right? So there's a lot more variability in that last set than the previous ones. For any given data set where we have variability, we want to know where that variability might be coming from. And there are 3 possible places it could come from. One is measurement error, another is individual differences, and then finally we have treatment effects or treatment differences. So we're going to consider this in the context of an example where we have people who are randomly assigned to either receive a drug or placebo, and we're going to measure their anxiety levels after those 2 treatments. So for this example, we're using the GAD-7 as a measure of anxiety. So people are asked 7 questions and they respond with how often in the past 2 weeks they've been bothered by each of those problems. And they answer from not at all to nearly every day. And then a total score is computed based on their responses to those questions. So now if we have 2 groups of people, the drug group and the placebo group, they have different scores in those 2 groups. And there are 3 potential reasons for those different scores. One is that they're just individual differences. People in this study have different levels of anxiety. You don't really expect everybody in the study to have exactly the same level of anxiety. Right? So there are individual differences there. We also know that we have measurement error, that any survey score is not necessarily going to truly reflect the exact amount of anxiety any individual has, and that's caused by measurement error there. And then finally, there are treatment effects in that we have different scores or variability in the drug group and the placebo group because they receive different treatments, and we expect them to have different scores because of those different treatments. So in any study, there are different sources of variability, and some of them we want to work to minimize because they're not good sources of variability. So one source of variability that we do want and expect in a study is variability due to treatment effects. We want there to be different scores in the drug group and the placebo group because we want there to be an effect of our treatment. That's the reason we did the study. Right? So we want there to be treatment effects. We also expect that there's going to be variability due to individual differences because people are different, right? And so we don't expect everybody to have the same anxiety levels or depression levels or height or weight. People are different, and we're always going to have those individual differences in our study. What we worry about is measurement error. Right? So the extent to which we measure our variables well, we can minimize measurement error. And we do this by using careful measurement and really good operational definitions of variables. We're not going to go into this in much detail in this class. You'll do this later in a research method class. But your overall goal is to get the best measures possible to minimize that measurement error so that you have clear results to interpret. Okay? And that is all we're doing in this video.